Yo, what's up, next Sora crew? It is me, Akira Sakai. Now you can see me this time. On the XP system video, you couldn't see me, but on this video, you will be able to see me because today we are making an enemy with a search radar, and he will attack when your player is inside of that radius. Okay, so without further ado, let us begin. I already put together the sprites. I bought these off of Itch. Okay, so we got the sprites and stuff ready. We're just going to make the object, and I'll show you how to make the radius to follow the enemy around, and then it'll detect if the player is in the radius, and then it'll choose whether or not to attack or just ignore you. And the cool thing about this is you can adjust it to maybe like have a search radar. So if you're doing stealth and like if you get caught, then it triggers some kind of capture sequence or a chase sequence or anything like that. Like you can make it do whatever you want. So first things first, we need to make our enemy. Then we'll do water obj. Oh, let's do water wisp. Okay, and we're gonna make an object and call this O water. Okay. All we're gonna do is grab this idle animation here so it can stand still. Okay, now we're gonna give it HP. So I don't know, 10. That goes to give it horizontal speed, vertical speed. Doesn't need gravity because this is a floating enemy. So move speed, I don't know, 1.2. Knockback speed. I think that's all this really needs, honestly. Yep, that's all it needs. Okay, so when you make an enemy that fires a projectile, anything that fires a projectile, the thing I like to do is I'll just give it an empty variable for the projectile when you create the enemy. So we'll just call this bullet equals none. Okay. So here we can add like bullet speed, and we can set it, I don't know, just set it to 5. And this will come into play later. So got this, got that. We want to go to the end step, and then we want to run that. I made a separate script called Collide E. And I'll show you why you don't use that as opposed to like using this, because this collision is for the player, right? You see how we got all this stuff for going up slopes, going down slopes, and then just like landing on stuff vertically. But the reason we don't use this on the enemy is because the enemy usually won't have all these variables, especially an enemy that's floating. Like a floating enemy won't necessarily ride on a horizontal platform. They won't necessarily go up and down slopes, not in the way that I have the game. Now, if you want to, you could duplicate this script and just get rid of this stuff here, because this stuff is for riding on platforms. Okay, so if you want an enemy to be able to ride on platforms, you can just duplicate this, but then in the enemy's create event, you'll have to give them a H speed carry and a V speed carry and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that because that's pretty complicated. So, and I just want to focus on the radius and the attacking, the search area. Okay, so we run this one so it can just have basic collision. We also want to make this a child of our enemy prefab, and that is because in here we're going to do this. We're going to do this here. Okay. And we're going to give this a tile map collision so that it can detect when it's running into walls, and we'll just have it bounce off. So we'll make this apparent. That way, every enemy we make, we don't have to write that collision code again. We just well, not in the step not in the step event. In the create event, we just event inherit, you know. And that way this code here transfers to this one, meaning that it recognizes the tile map when it runs into it. And I'll show you what I mean. So in here, right, we have this layer. We got this layer here. Can I zoom in? I cannot. Okay, so this layer here, T_Cole, refers to these tiles here. All these tiles in here, they each have a collision, and the characters and the actors in the game react to this because it's stored in this code here. This here, it checks the layers and it looks for this, and it makes this a collision tile, collision trigger. Okay, so that's why we do that. All right, now we basically have all the stuff we need to make a simple enemy. This collision runs the X plus Y plus, so it's gonna move the character. All we need to do is set a few things. So mask index is always going to, well, no. If we want to check if the enemy is dead, and if it is, then we set mask index equals, so it has the same mask index as the sprite when you kill an enemy. Check it up. Now we could do else, and we'll do, if you didn't kill the enemy, then the mask index will always be its neutral, and its neutral mask, which is the little mask I edited earlier. That way the collisions are consistent, but when we defeat the enemy, we don't want it to still be active. Okay. Now I could do something like this. We could set it to false, and then here we could do true, and we could do that. You know, this is just like, this is extra checking just to really make sure that, you know, you can't interact with this enemy once you kill it. It's just gonna disintegrate into the air. Okay, so if HP is greater than 0 and sprite index not equal to water hit, water attack, die, we'll do if H speed equals 0, sprite index equals water neutral. If H speed not equal to 0 and sprite index not equals to water hit, then sprite index equals water move. Okay, so if he's not dead, he's not getting hit, he's not attacking. Okay, and he's not dead. If the H speed is set to 0, they'll just run the neutral animation. If it's not equal to 0, but he's not getting hit, because when he gets hit, we're going to give him a little bit of knockback. Then we'll just have him play the move animation. So now we're going to create move. Move equals actually ba, 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 da. Actually, we don't even need this because I'm pretty sure we could just do this move speed times direction. I did forget a variable, so we'll go back to the create event. We'll do direction was 1, and then here we're going to go ahead and just do image x scale equals direction. So h speed will equal move speed times direction. Actually, we should throw this in here because we don't want him to do this if he gets hit or if he attacks, because we want him to stop if he attacks. Okay. Honestly, I think that's all we need to do to make the player move. Actually, no, that's not true. Let's see. I want to try something. Actually, I want to experiment on something. At wall equals false. So let's do at wall equals place meaning x plus 1 comma y comma o block comma t o minus place meaning x minus 1 comma y comma o. I guess we would just flip it, right? That might actually work. Okay. Yo, if that works out, that'd be kind of sick. I might have just come up with a solution for something. Indeed, did not come up with a solution for something, as you will see right here. It did not work. I didn't have to even do that because I had already wrote it into that script. Okay, well, never mind. Oh, well, there we go. He is moving. He is moving and grooving, chat. Okay. So let's go ahead and make an alarm. Active, true. Alarm set 1. Take 2 seconds to attack. I don't need this. Okay, hey, 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 hey. Mm-mm. Oh, nice. Okay, there we go. There we go. So the attack animation works. Okay, so now that we got that done, we want to upgrade it. We want to do in range false. So now we run another check. We do if in range. And then we just throw this here. Then we'll make a variable target equals OE1. Okay, so now we run this. Now we change this. So now the in range variable has to be true in order for it to attack. Otherwise, they'll just keep moving back and forth and checking for this, trying to see if he's in range. Okay. So first, let me show you how without any way to turn this on or off, it doesn't attack. See, he just keeps moving back and forth. He doesn't attack. No attacking. No attacking at all. He's just moving back and forth. Okay. Okay, so at first I thought I needed to make an object with a sprite that would follow the enemy around and check if it collided with the player. But I found out by looking in the manual that we could just draw a circular collision around the enemy and it's already attached. So we're going to skip all of this part because this is unnecessary. Let's go into step event of the enemy actually. Or do we want to do it on end step? I think no. Let's see. If collision circle x comma y comma scale times 10 comma op1 comma precise true. So if that happens, in range equals true, else in range equals false. This thing be super particular, bro. Let's see if he come back over. Oh, I'm in range. Oh, snap. Hey, yo. Oh, goodness. So, like, okay. So maybe 10 is too high? Yeah. We'll leave it that way. I'm curious, though. I want to do something. Draw circle. And then we'll draw self, like draw it above it. What the? just so I can kind of see where it's at. Oh goodness, yeah, that thing huge. Oh, that's dope. Okay, so we fixed it, chat. So you don't need to create a radar object anymore. We can just draw a collision in a circle. And now, like, when you get in that radius, he's there. He's checking for you. All right, easy. Easy peasy. Okay, so last thing we're going to do, we're going to make him fire a bullet in that direction when he triggers his attack. Okay? So that can go bye-bye. See you later. That's crazy. All this time, bro. No? Hey, we fixed it. All right. So we're going to water bullet. Let's go to the enemy sprites. Let's get the water bullet here. Damage 10, horizontal speed 0, alarm set 0. We need to make one more placeholder. So O and bullet, and we're gonna do that same thing. So layer tile map get ID T call boom. Okay, obviously that'll be invisible. So for the water bullet here, we're gonna just make this a child of this enemy bullet, and then all we got to do here is event inherit bang. Okay, alarm 0, instance destroy. Okay, and then all we gotta do here is x plus equals horizontal speed if place meeting x comma y comma t call comma o block. Like if it hits the little block object, we just instance destroy. So he can't shoot you through the wall, because that would really suck. You know, you don't want to get shot through the wall. And honestly, that is it for this. Okay, so here we're gonna borrow some code from our player. This code here. So if layer, we need to go to the enemy's attack sprite right here. And so you see these frames here, right? This is kind of where we want to spawn the bullet, or maybe here, because we'll do it here. It'll spawn on this frame, like right around here. And then so from the origin, is that bottom center? So what's here? We really want it about here. So 30 from bottom center, so about 12. What this does is it checks the instance and like the ID of the object calling this, receiving this broadcast message. And if it does, it goes into this switch, and that is instance create layer x plus. Now this is important. You want to do plus 12, or plus the distance from your origin point times direction. Okay, because if he's facing forward, you want to fire it that way. If he's facing backwards, you want to fire it the other way. Okay, so then y minus, oh, let's go check. I'd rather be accurate than just like have to play around with it, since we just took all that time fixing the collision. So minus 12, so plus 12 minus 12. Call this, so it'd be y minus 12 comma layer, because it could just spawn on the same layer. Oh, water bullet. Okay, so we created the bullet. Now we want to do bullet dot image x scale equals dir our direction. Bullet equals our bullet speed variable times direction. You gotta make sure we do this, because otherwise he'll only fire in one direction. And if I did everything right, when we trigger the in range variable, he fires a bullet. See? And as you can see, he fires in both directions. And he can't shoot through the wall. That's the best part. Look at that. Easy. So there you have it, guys. You created an enemy. He has a search radar. When you step in his range, he will attack. Otherwise, he just moves back and forth. I'll make another video on doing like collision checks from, how to attack the enemy and stuff, and how to make him attack you and do like collision damage if you run into him or if you get hit by the bullet, and invulnerability frames and all that stuff. We'll do that in another video. But as for this one, it is cooked. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. See you later. Peace.